morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. So how is everybody feeling? For me, I've had quite a morning, and last night too, but I am here and I am doing this live, and I just want to let you know that, real life happens and that it's just a test to see how you're going to push through, right? So good morning, Suzanne. Good morning, George. Thank you so much for joining live. Oh, great, George. I'm so happy you feel pretty good. All right. So if you are joining us live, go ahead and comment 1. And if you are watching the replay, go ahead and comment 2. And if we are meeting for the first time, my name is Brianna Anninger, and I am passionate about empowering and inspiring people just like you to truly wake up and live. And this is our series, The Big Leap, by Gay Hendrick, and today we're going to talk about episode 2, the 4 hidden barriers. So, okay, so the first one is that feeling fundamentally flawed. Being fundamentally flawed, or feeling that fundamentally flawed, is that you get it when basically from being a child. That you feel not good enough. You feel that if you were to get success, that maybe you wouldn't be a great leader, or maybe that people, they have that opinion about you, right? So you feel that, why try if I'm fundamentally flawed, if I don't have anything to give to the world? So that is one of them, of feeling fundamentally flawed. And how to build that fundamentally flawed barrier to pass through it, with it being one of our upper limits, is that you want to feed your subconscious, okay? You want to read empowering books. If you truly feel that you're fundamentally flawed, discover why you feel that fundamentally flawed, because there's always a root to why we feel a certain way. It could be that we grew up in a certain household, and maybe a parent talked to us a certain way. Or maybe that it's a learned behavior, okay? Maybe our parents were a certain way, so we took on that. So that is the first one, feeling fundamentally flawed. And I believe that, from our other series of Personality Plus, you kind of can discover a little bit of that. So if you haven't read that book, I truly encourage you to read that so you can do a little bit of self-discovery and maybe find out why you feel that way. Now, I can be completely transparent with you guys that is one of my limiting beliefs. I've always felt that I'm not good enough in a lot of places, in a lot of areas in my life. So this chapter, or this section of the chapter, really resonated with me. Good morning, Amanda. So that is the first one. The second one is the being disloyal. Now, that also comes from the childhood, that maybe that there was a, like an unspoken rule of the family that if you do X, Y, and Z, then the family will feel disgraced, right? Or that you're giving the family name a bad rep. So that is one of them. And in the book that he talks about is that there was this couple that the husband was very successful. He was like a doctor, if I remember right. And he met his wife, they were dating at the time. And they said the guy's family said that you cannot get married because they wanted to have this huge wedding for him, and celebrate, I believe, his graduation. And so he said, you can't get married until you graduate. Well, the woman side, she grew up in not a very rich family. Her mom actually did some like illegal, how do you call them? You know what I'm talking about. And that's how she got her living, okay? So two different people really from their family background, but they came together and they were so in love. They wanted this relationship to work. And so what they decided, as soon as he graduated, that they went to Vegas, okay? And they eloped. And as they eloped, coming back, they called her parents, or her mom, sorry, and she was a single mom. And she said that she was very excited for them. And she said, well, come home and I want to have a great party for you guys. And they decided not to share with his parents because they knew that they were going to feel that guilt. They knew that they were going to feel disgraced, right? And they knew that they were like, he's like, well, my parents are just not going to understand, okay? So what ends up happening, I was like, oh my gosh, I was on the edge of my seat. That they came back and they decided to stop, like, in the woods for some reason. I don't know, okay? And they had their little honeymoon, okay? What ended up happening was they were around poison oak. So when they, and I guess poison oak, it takes 24 hours for it to take an effect, or more than 24 hours, so they didn't know, okay? So they came home with her mom, and they had this party, they got drunk, they had a hangover. I know, yes, wild faces, Amanda. And so what ended up happening is they woke up, not only did they wake up not feeling great, they were hungover, and they were itchy. So they couldn't understand what happened. And so I was like, when I was reading the book, I thought that they were going to die. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is horrible, right? Good thing they didn't die. They survived it. But what ended up happening was they had to go to, I guess he's a psychologist. And so they went to go talk to the author of this book. And he said that they need to be truthful with his parents. And they need to tell them what happened. And, I mean, they recovered from the poison oak and everything like that. But what ends up happening is that we let that guilt eat at us. And so it's so important that when we feel a certain way and we feel that we're going to disgrace somebody, or they're just not going to be very happy with us, it's so important to just have that conversation and just be honest. When you're honest, both parties can come together and find a solution, okay? So what ended up happening was his family, they forgave him, you know, and they ended up being able to have a really nice party. So the moral of the story is that if you have that hidden being disloyal, just communicate. Just communicate of how you feel. And don't let that be a barrier to your success, because you can grow up and you can keep that on the back of your shoulders, and you won't reach your success because you'll have that upper limit belief, right? That you won't be able to reach your potential. And you have such great potential. You are here for a reason. You are the change for this world, okay? So don't allow that disloyalty to be part of it, okay? So number 3 is, oh gosh, where are my notes? The crime without shining, okay? So that one is where we kind of talked about it yesterday, is about when you can have a brother or sister and you have that fear of outshining them, okay? And the way that he talked about in this book was about himself, and it was actually kind of a sad story. He was a musician, and his sister was a musician too. And what ended up happening was his sister died of leukemia. And so his parents, what they wanted to do is they wanted to encourage him to be that musician. And so what they did was, I think it was for his birthday, they brought him a piano. So he went to sleep and they had someone deliver it because he had to go across town to practice. Which I was like, wow, you know, that shows that passion, that sometimes if we don't have it in our house, that we might have to go somewhere to be able to feed our, our tools, right, to our passion. And so what his parents ended up doing was they bought him this piano. But the thing is that they wouldn't have been able to afford that piano if his sister didn't die. So I was like, this part was really sad in the book. So when it's supposed to be a happy moment that he gets this piano, his mom kind of looks at him and tells him, you know, I'm really happy that we got you this piano, but just to let you know, we wouldn't have been able to afford this piano if your sister didn't die. So he grew up with that feeling of guilt, you know, of being that musician, because it's like his sister wasn't able to, I know, it was really sad. His sister wasn't able to become that musician. And so instead of, you know, being a happy moment, it was like every time he put his hands on that piano, he felt that guilt. That it was like, why did I live? You know, why was I able to become, you know, to practice this musician, and then my sister died? So having that of, you know, not being able, that fear and that hidden barrier of outshining somebody. And so even though his sister was dead, he still had that fear of outshining her. So he actually was talking about that he has a couple of the barriers. And then, what's the other one? I don't know where my notes are. Gosh. Anyways, so let's talk about 3 for right now. But, so I want you to think about it, is that, do you have a fear of not being good enough? Do you have a fear of being disloyal to someone that you love? Do you have a fear of outshining somebody? Sure, yes, please, Suzanne, just remind me what it is. I don't know what's going on. So if you have these fears, I want you to research them and find out where they came from, okay? Because these could be one of the upper limits. And once you get past these upper limits, then you will be able to find that success, you know, that you truly are meant to have. And okay, so let me tell you what has been going on while Suzanne tries to find that last limited belief, and now Layla has the ball. So I have decided that one of the things that we were talking about is, you know, tolerations in our life, right? So one of the things that I was tolerating was that I had fear and I had a negative belief that Mike and I couldn't afford our dogs to be on heartworm prevention because they are very expensive, okay? But I realized that I was, and this is interesting because chapter 3 is about worrying, okay? And so I realized that that worry was really on me. That, you know, when the dogs would go outside and there were mosquitoes, that they were going to get heartworm, right? And so what ended up happening was I talked to Mike and, you know, we sat down and we decided that heartworm prevention is very important. So I went to the vet on Sunday when I told you guys I was going to the vet, and they were tested, and I know, yes, Layla, she's making her appearance always. They were tested and they came out negative. So I was like, oh, that's really great, because I know that if you guys know, heartworm when dogs have heartworm, that it is it's very expensive to treat. Okay, so I was really happy. Yes, okay, all right, perfect. Which kind of goes to what I'm saying. Interesting. Okay, so that that when dogs have heartworm, that it's very expensive. It is treatable, but it's very expensive and it's very taxing on the dog, okay? So I got their heartworm medicine. I was really happy. They came out negative. And yesterday I went to give Diesel his dose, and they said that to monitor the dog for an hour to make sure that they don't throw up. So an hour goes by, and Diesel and Casper, they're totally fine, and they don't they didn't throw up. So I was like, okay, great, we're through the woods, right? So 4.5 hours later, Diesel throws up. And just like, he just gave in. So he threw up, and I immediately started worrying. I'm like, oh no, this medicine is so expensive. And I was like, okay, now one dose is a waste. But good thing is that I researched, and my friend, Suzanne, she helped me too, because she used to work at a vet office, that the 4 hours should be an adequate amount of time that's in his system. But he's been very lethargic. He is drinking water, but he's not eating. And for all of you guys know, my dogs are like my children. And so it kind of has been a little bit taxing on me because, I worry. And so he is drinking water. This morning he did not eat his breakfast. So I'm just going to have to keep monitoring him. And yes, okay. And so that is one of the things that that I've been dealing with this morning. And then I went to go buy the audio of the book, and my app wasn't working, and it's been a crazy morning. Okay, so but the moral of the story is that we all go through things. Okay. And this is what has happened to me today. But look, you guys, I'm still showing up. I'm still here telling the message, of this book. And I'm sure that it just means that there's an important person to hear this, because I'm a firm believer that when a lot of things go wrong, that's when our blessing is right around the corner. And this past, I would say, week, I'm really learning a lot about myself. I'm learning a lot about success. And I am feeling really, really great that I really am stepping into my courageous zone and my genius zone. And so when that happens, a lot of things are going to come at us, right? A lot of things are going to derail us. And I'm very a religious person, so I believe that, with God, that the enemy knows where to hurt us the most, right? I tell this all the time to Amanda, that certain things that he knows that are so important to us, like for instance my dogs, they're very important to me. I have a form of that I worry because the way I lost Joey. So whenever I see Diesel or Casper not breathing right, I start to panic. So this goes into about what Suzanne was writing, that believing that more success, believing that more success brings a bigger worry, right? So look at that. Isn't that really interesting that I've been having a lot of worry, okay? So not necessarily worry about my success, but just worry about, things around me that is going on, okay? So here's the thing with that last one about worrying that when you have success that it's going to be more burdens on others, okay? So that is very important, because when we have that success, that we feel that we're going to be a burden. And ultimately these 4 fundamentals are kind of like that, right? If you look at all of them, it's about worrying. It's about the reflection of, ourselves and what our self-worth is. And so if you can push past those barriers, then you're going to be successful, right? No matter what. So it's just learning how to really self-reflect, what it is that is limiting us. And if you categorize yourself in these 4 different hidden barriers, because they are hidden, a lot of times we don't realize why we feel a certain way. But when we start to self-reflect, a lot of answers come about. And so that is what our episode is about, about the hidden barriers. And if you can resonate with one of these barriers, I would love to hear from you. If you don't feel comfortable commenting below, that's okay. You can definitely message me, because I am definitely I'm here to help you step into your genius zone, okay? So I hope you guys have a great day, and well, I wanted to show you something. Hold on one second. Okay. So I know that if you guys follow my Facebook story, I showed a package of opening, and I was like, if you join my series, you'll know what it is. So what it is called the Laws of Attraction Planner, okay? So in order for us to, one of the things I feel that's very important is that for our success is to be organized. And if you're not an organized person, that's okay. But it's important to learn to be organized, because if you set your calendar and for the week, and you know what you are going to do for the week, then you'll be more productive, okay? And I'll tell you something that I think is part of my limiting too, is that if I'm set for a calendar, then I don't have that freedom. And I don't know if you guys resonate with that. That sometimes that feeling of control, and that kind of goes back to my childhood too. So it's really important to sit down and to really just do it, okay? Just make your calendar out, and to make your appointments and your follow-ups and anything that, you know, is going to make you successful, write it down in your calendar, okay? So one of the things that when we're talking about self-reflecting, this is why I wanted to show you guys that it's really cool. I used to use the Passion Planner, but Suzanne was telling us, and I want to read this to you. So keep your thoughts positive, because your thoughts become your words. Keep your words positive, because your words become your behavior. Keep your behavior positive, because your behavior becomes your habits. Keep your habits positive, because your habits become your values. That like resonated to me like so much, that, you know, if you have a positive habit, that those habits become your values. And values are what people look for, you know, to be your friend, to do business with you, right? So, and then the last one is keep your values positive, because your values become your destiny. And that's Gandhi, okay? So, the other thing is and I haven't done it because I just got it, but then you have your my life statement. So how would I love my life to be? My vision statement, how would I contribute to this world? And then like who the planner belongs to, because it's a priceless possession. And then what I really love is how to, if you feel derailed, if you feel like your vibration is not good, or if your vibration is good, it has it all right here, right? And then it tells you the affirmations that you want to say to kind of redo your mindset, okay? So let's be honest right now. Let's see. So for me, what am I feeling right now? Well, I think I'm feeling frustrated, okay? So if I'm feeling frustrated, I'm the blue, okay? And so what I need to do is, an affirmation is, I let go easily and see the light in me. I accept and let go, and I trust all is well. I choose to see the light that I am to this world. I compare myself only to my highest self. I focus on progress and decide to let go of perfection. Whoa, that is definitely a heart dagger to my heart. I am patient with myself and others. Another one. And I give up the habit of criticizing myself. Wow, right? So those are definitely what I feel today. And I think that this broadcast is a really good broadcast for me, and maybe not so much of you guys, but maybe it will help you. But that life is not perfect, right? And sometimes, like, you know, I have my makeup and my hair done, and maybe I look like I have it all together, right? But we all struggle in our life, but it's how we respond to that struggle is to where we go in life, right? So I could have not done this broadcast, okay? I could have got really nervous because I didn't know the third fundamental or the fourth fundamental. But instead, you know, I had Suzanne. She helped me and she got me back on track. But the interesting thing also is that even though I didn't remember that fundamental, I started talking about it without realizing it, right? So again, that goes to how strong your subconscious is. That your subconscious is so powerful, and your subconscious is actually what derails you the most because it's hidden. You don't realize what you say. So another cool thing that I'm going to leave you guys with, and I didn't know that I was going to share this with you, but I watched a video yesterday because I feel it's so important to constantly surround yourself around positive people, to build yourself up, to build your mind, to build your subconscious mind. And so one of the things is that if you feel that you are just not having a great day, okay, I want you to kind of think about like what is derailing you, okay? And so let's say that, I don't know an example, but let's just say that something you just feel negative, right? So what I want you to do, the exercise, and you need to do it for 30 days. It's called the mental diet, okay? And it was actually from the entrepreneur guy that did this planner. And I'll push the in the links. I'll give the link to this planner because I really encourage everyone to get it. And I don't get any monetary value from it. I just get that the happiness of helping you step into your genius zone. So what I want you to do for 30 days is for when you are feeling bad, I want you to look up and think of something bad. So I'm trying to think of something bad. I can't. Okay? So, and then if you look up and you think of something good. So I'm encouraging. I love what I do. I have a passion to empower and inspire people and make a difference in this world. Okay? Then you look down, like try to look down, and you'll be able to think so many negative things, which I'm not going to say because I'm not going to put that vibration or that energy out. You try to say good things, you won't be able to. Okay? So pretty fascinating. That so I want you to do that for 30 days. And the reason why you do it for 30 days is that there was a study done in NASA that it took 30 days for the mind to reset. And it was fascinating, the story that he said. So I encourage you maybe to look it up. But science is really interesting. So I want to encourage you guys to do that. So if you're not feeling good, look up, okay? Don't look down, because that will just make you feel worse. But do it for 30 days. It will reset your mind, and your habit, what becomes your value, and your value becomes your destiny. Okay? So I hope you guys have a great day. I will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. We'll be on episode 3. And if you found that this was helpful, go ahead and share this broadcast with someone that needed to hear this. Okay? I love you guys, and thank you so much for all the support and even getting me through this broadcast, okay? Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye.